Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Don Jo. This is their part number FF45 CP. This is basically a hinge filler, is what it is. This is a piece of steel that is 4.5 inch tall, 1 5/8 wide. 132 thousandths thick, and is going to include a couple of combination screws, machine and wood thread. This will work regardless of it being a wood frame or a steel frame. Now, what is it and why would you need it? Let's talk about that now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. As I said earlier, it's a hinge filler, and this is meant to blank off the preparation for a hinge. When you remove the hinge, you'll be left with that hinge pocket. The reinforcement will be visible behind it. This allows you to attach this piece of metal to that hinge reinforcement and basically blank off or finish off the preparation for that hinge. That hinge would be in the frame. This would be the proper size for a frame in most instances. It would be a 4.5 inch tall hinge prep, and it would be a standard weight hinge, meaning that hinge is 134 thousandths thick, and that's what this would be for. Why would you need it? Well, you've removed a hinge, and now you need to blank off the prep in the frame, and that would be because perhaps you've literally removed a door, and you're just going to blank off the hinge prep on the jams, on the hinge jam, and the strike prep on the strike jam. Maybe you've converted to a continuous geared aluminum hinge, or maybe a stainless steel continuous hinge, or an alternative means of hanging the door, and you just need to blank that off. It could be a fire-rated opening where you've got a steel door and a steel frame, it's 90-minute, or a wood door and a steel frame, and it's fire-rated, and you've gone to a continuous geared aluminum hinge, and you need to fill off those reinforcements in the jam, perhaps because of the fire door inspection review process has stated that the hinge fillers are missing, and perhaps the inspector wants them installed. So that might be why you use it. Why is it for a frame though? Well, because it's 1 5/8. 1 5/8 is the right size for a frame. There are three widths of fillers. There's 1.5 inches, 1 5/8, and 1 3/4. 1.5 and 1 3/4, those are used for the door. There are two types of door preps, really. There's the beveled and handed door, where the hinge pocket is not cut all the way through the edge of the door. For that one, you'd use the 1.5 inches because you'd have a 1/4 inch back set. Then there's the square edge universal handed door, where that's cut all the way through 1 3/4, where you'd use that. But the rabbet in the frame, a typical hollow metal frame, is 1 15/16, and it has a 5/16 dimension from the face of the stop to the preparation, for the edge of the prep. So in your mind's eye, imagine the rabbet of the frame, and it's got the hinge prep. Well, the amount of the frame that's not cut into, measured to the face of the stop, well, that's 1 5/8. And there you go. There's 1 5/8. So if it's 1 5/8, it's not going to be for a door. It'd be either too big or too small, most likely. You could use the 1.5 inches in the frame, but it's too narrow. It'll leave a little gap. If you try to use the 1 3/4 in the frame, well, it'll fit, but you're probably not going to get that surface-mounted continuous geared aluminum hinge installed, or the concealed mount either. So that's what this is for. Let's switch to the screen view, and let's take a closer look at the supporting information. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, here is the item that we are looking at. Shows a bit of a generic image of the hinge reinforcing plate. Let's take a look at the actual images of this. Now, this is in the CP. That means chrome plated. It's just a silver type finish. It's unusual to do a hinge filler in this type of finish, but there's no reason that you wouldn't want it. If you've got satin chrome hardware, sure, why not? Use one that's going to be a color that's at least complementary to satin chrome. Just showing a detail of the countersunk area for the screw. Very light treatment to the edge, just showing how this has been sheared would be my guess. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Those screws were shown here initially. Now, the extended description information down below. Filler plate, frame, hinge cutout, 4.5 by 1 5/8. Sold as each. When you buy one, we'll ship you one. You probably need 3, possibly 4, but 1 would be unusual. Template is here. Look at all the dimensional properties beyond what we've already covered. This indicates it's available in a prime coat finish, which is for sure the most common finish. This document's very old at this point. Doesn't reflect the finishes that came available after it. There is a product catalog. Let's do this. Let's copy our part number, FF45, and then open the product catalog, and then do a find function on your keyboard for FF-45, and you'll get to the table and the page where you can find these fillers. Okay. We talked about different sizes. FF45 is a frame filler, 4.5 inch. If you need it for 5 inch, it's an FF50. Okay, that's good to know. What about the door fillers? Let's take a look and see where those are. Here they are. HF45. That one is 1 3/4, and then the short HF, the SHF, that's 1.5 inches. So your door for 4.5 inch, or your door 1.5 inches for a 5 inch prep. Those would go along. If you're converting to a continuous hinge, then you're going to need, if it's a 7-foot door, you'll need 3 of these. You'll need 3 of these, depending on the door type. It's probably that you'll need the HF45 and then the FF45 if it's a square edge door, and that would set you in real good position to blank off all those preps. Other filler plates are also in this catalog. Edge fillers for lock preps, flush bolt prep, conversion plates. They're related, they're associated, so they're in this catalog. Hole fillers are here as well. Other accessory hardware. Hinge reinforcement plates. I just hung up the phone with a client who has a need for a hinge reinforcement plate. The HR120 was the correct plate for him, but then we discussed an alternative means to solve the problem, and since we're talking about hinges, the alternative mean, so this client has an aluminum door, and the top hinge broke, and he's unable to find the right hinge reinforcement plate for his aluminum application because aluminum isn't welded. That aluminum, well, if this is the rabbet of the aluminum frame, and then you've got your blade stop here basically, you're going to have your hinge prep but then you're going to have a couple of holes here that will allow you to mount your hinge to. It's the location of these holes that make it difficult. And I suggested to him the full surface reinforcing pivot by Markar. This is going to allow you to hold that door up in position. Doesn't carry the load, but there are 3 other hinges on the door, and this will at least get the door aligned correctly. And that's what it's meant to look like right there. The other option is a continuous geared aluminum hinge, as you guessed. The problem is his door is 8 foot, and the freight on that alone is pretty expensive. It's likely the same cost as the hinge. So this is a pretty easy solution that will likely work because I had mentioned to the client he's going to have to take that HR120 and drill and tap some holes in it to get it properly readied to fit into his frame. So that's what would have to be done, and that is where the client is not able to do the work. But anyway, there's a link below this video right here to the manufacturer's page. From here you can pull up not only all of the Don Jo products that we sell, by means of this horizontal navigation as seen here, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog, but then that full product catalog broken down into these subsections as well. If you know the name Don Jo at all, you do for their latch protectors or possibly their wraparound plates. But keep in mind, they do, of course, have those fillers that you're looking at, filler plates, mounting tabs, and signs. They have pivots. They have hinges. They have bolts and latches and strike plates. Lots of good items. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Don Jo is a name reasonably synonymous with items like this. They have these filler plates where most people have them only in prime coat. They'll be able to do it in this chrome-plated CP or a BP for brass-plated. They can probably do it in their powder-coated black, which is a popular finish. The year is 2021 now. Black's been popular for 3 years or so and will probably be popular for another 5 or 10 years would be my guess. Historically, black is a very common finish. If you look at a hardware catalog that's 110 years old, yeah, black is, there's more than one black in fact. So black is a pretty common color. They can do that on a special order should you need. Any questions on the FF or frame filler 45, the 4.5 means 4.5 inch, or any other Don Jo product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.